So to help you better understand standards-based grading, it might help you to hear how we've gotten here. And I think to do that, we need to talk a little bit about the old grading system. So what is a 90%, 80%, 70%, and 60% grading system that collects points? What does that do for our students and to our students? So I think first of all, it's important to notice that in a system where we are identifying points, one of the things that occurs is that kids become more focused on the points than they do the learning. So a good example of this happens at the end of a 9 weeks or a semester when teachers would have students come up to them and say, "Hey, Mrs. Worthy, I know I have an 89.3, and if I only had 14 more points, I would have an 89.5, which you would then have to round to an A. What do I have to do to get 14 more points?" So here's the problem with the way we have graded for 100 years. What we have just done is force the kid into a conversation that's around collecting points. What we want to do is identify the essential learnings of the class and communicate that to the students. Here are the essential standards that exist for Unit 1. And in those standards, we are going to give you feedback about whether you have mastered them or you're not there yet. Teachers use proficiency scales to evaluate where students are. And if you have mastered that, then you can move on or get your A. Our conversion chart from a 4-point scale to a letter grade is as follows. So what we hope the conversation sounds like, the reason why we want to build this change is at the end of the 9 weeks or semester, we are hoping for a system that looks like this. "Hey, Mrs. Worthy, I was noticing in my grade that I've mastered all the standards except one. What do I need to do to prove to you that I'm no longer struggling with that standard and have met the mastery for it, and therefore get my A?" So you can hear the difference in this conversation. We just changed that conversation with the students so they are not talking about collecting points. The question becomes, what do I have to do to master this learning target and ultimately achieve all the essential standards of the course? So when this system is done well, fundamentally, the focus is on the learning.